Your move, your move.
What's up, guys? Back with our boy Cassius again. Today we got an updated Traptricks. We saw him a couple of months ago with his Traptricks deck. He has now continued testing and perfected it. So he's going to show us today on the channel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I reached peak perfection. Well, maybe almost peak perfection now.
Let's get to it.
So, starting off, 3 Marmalio, the standard 3 Mantis. You always want to see them in your opening hand. Then I'm playing 2 Pudica, which is a pretty good starter, depending on your hand. You'd rather start off with a Pudica than a Mantis or something else. For extension, 2 Arachno Camper. I would not play 3 because it locks you into insect and plants, and most of the extra deck isn't really insect and plants. Then I'm playing 2 Downera. Amazing card to extend off Sarah, because Houtless is you're gonna pitch a trap, which is probably gonna be one of your trap holes, and later, and then if you have a Sarah, chain Sarah, special Downera, get the trap hole back, free. Everything's free. Especially Downera really helps you a lot in the grind game. And then I'm playing 1 Vesicula, I think that's how you pronounce it, for extra extension. Speaking of extension, 3 Parallax Seed, they're a must have, because you basically all you have to do is open a Traptrick, go into Sarah, and then you have a free level 4. So why not play Exceed? For the second engine, I'm playing Labyrinth. So I have 2 Lady Labyrinths, which is almost basically the entire Labyrinth engine, because you only need these 2 because you can special summon them off the big welcome anyway, and your own trap like Houtless is gonna trigger the lady anyway, so it's good to draw, it's good to special. 2 Kaijus, you must respect the Kaijus around this time, so I'm playing 2, the third one being in the side. And then 1 Garden. Only playing 2 Pudica, so you don't need another Garden. If they pop your Garden, it's whatever. You have other stuff anyway. And mostly they want to pop your back row stuff, and they don't really care about the Garden most of the time, your opponents. And it's searchable of Pudica, and Pudica is searchable, so it's searchable by the searchable target. And that would be it. For the spells, just 1 spell. 3 big welcomes to start off the trap selection. To special your light labyrinth, and then later on have your bounces. You don't really need big welcome because you have 2 lady labyrinth. So the big welcome isn't really that useful. Something that's really useful though, maining 3D barrier. Going first and having D-Bear in your hand can absolutely win you the game, win you that round. Basically getting you a free first round. It's also useful going second, because you can set it, your opponent doesn't really have interaction with you setting cards, and you can use it as a comeback, or I mean, if your opponent has a bunch of fusions, you can use it in turn 3 to get rid of the fusion effects if they bother you. Speaking of going second, maining 3 evenly match. It's a must. This deck pretty much struggles going second, so hence why I main deck the Kaijus and the evenlies. A no-brainer. 3 Houtless. You need to play 3. You want to see this card all the time. Also, this card is crazy in your opponent's turn. Special summon you. You can special summon Urmelo to pop a problematic spell or trap, or a Pudica to interrupt them with a banish. And now for some holes. 2 Floodgates, amazing, basically against every deck except fusion decks or tribute decks like Monarchs or Flu. But in rest day, you can flip face down their key card and you can't really do anything after that. 2 Gravedigger's Trap Hole. This is really amazing. It not only protects you against Nib if you go into Rafflesia meteor to your combo, which you can easily get Rafflesia with Exceeds and stuff like that. But yeah, also against decks that love to activate monsters in hand or grave, you can burn them even in time. You can burn them for 2k winning time if that's what you want to do. So that really comes up a lot. And then 2 Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. Amazing card to interrupt. Pop something, banishes something from the grave, which can be the thing you popped or something else to get even more interruptions. And 1-time space. One day, my opponent is gonna pen 5 and gonna spin them back to the deck. One day. That will be it for the Traptricks. For the main deck. For the extra deck, playing 1 Antipus, 1 Kularia. You don't need to play more than this, because you only summon the big one when you know you're about to go into the OTK. So why would you play seconds? Because like if you know you're gonna OTK, you're gonna OTK. And this is mainly in the grind game or something. It can come up in the grinds. But something that always comes up, Sarah. You have to play 3 of them. Sarah is the key to grinding out your opponent. It's the best link 1 ever, probably. And that will be it for the links. Next time, play a bunch of Exceeds. Since this deck can spam out level 4s like crazy. I got the 1 Spriggan's Merrymaker that's basically just a bridge to go into Sargas for extra interruption. You can trigger your Sargas easily in your own turn, or if your opponent, if they have a Exceed deck, gonna trigger Sargas. Your Redoer is gonna trigger Sargas most of the time, but maybe you can use Sargas to go into Zeus. Yeah, get the 2 material Zeus basically for free from 2 level 4s. Speaking of going to Zeus, Exaton Knight can easily allow you to go into Zeus, since he can break your opponent's board before going to Zeus. So you make sure Zeus sticks. Or if you can't get through your opponent's board, just go into Evil Storm Exaton Knight and you have a free way to attack that way. 1 Baguska in the grind, or if you get interrupted or something, your hand is not great, going to Baguska to try to drag out the game and do stuff. 1 Redoer, it's a must. You can so easily get access to Outlast to go into Redoer and have a bounce and keep stealing stuff from your opponents. And you're pretty much always gonna have a monster too, so it's gonna leave the field and be free to come back without you having fear of it being destroyed or something. And 1 Cowboy for game, and the rest of them are your typical Traptrick card. 1 Rafflesia, like I mentioned, 1 Alana Maris. I think that's how I spell it. I don't really go into this one, but sometimes it does really come up, the special from the deck in your turn, if your hand looks iffy. And 1 Pudica. Oh, Pingula, never mind. Pudica is the monster. Amazing card. You have all your trap holes, make your opponent card leave the field for card effect, so they can get sunk by Pudica, and she becomes then unaffected by that type of monster. And yeah, that would be it for the deck.
It's time! Let's go!